Hey everyone, welcome back to Data and Donuts. My name is Aaron. I'm here with my friend and colleague Darnell Harris. Darnell is a newly minted director over this last year in the area of research and planning, and he's going to really talk to us about transitioning into this role and his aspirations and dreams, and really provide us some insight on the future of this position. So Darnell, could you introduce yourself to us?
Yeah, sure. I'm Darnell Harris. I'm at Reedley College, small college, medium-sized college in the Central Valley, California. I've been in this role for about the last 6 months, and it's very interesting, as a newly minted director. A little bit about my background and how I got into this role. And I would have to say, in a word, non-traditional. So I jumped into the education scene as an academic coach as well as a football coach. So my main focus was on pushing our student athletes toward support services and making sure that they had the tools that they needed to be successful. That kind of led to a myriad of other positions. I was an adjunct faculty. I was an assessment coordinator. I was an athletic director. And so as I go down that list, that's kind of where that non-traditional comes from.
Oh, excellent, excellent. No, and I think that really provides you diversified background and perspective, especially as a new director. And with that said, we'll jump into the interview. What is it like being a new director of research and planning?
Interesting, right? So we have a small team, small but effective team. It's myself and a research planning analyst. And I think I would add to that with three other things that come to mind. I would say busy, rewarding, fulfilling, and busy because, you just about every aspect of the college is informed by my work, right? Or my team's work. And there are a lot of projects that I'm involved in that I don't necessarily lead, but that my work is just a key component of it. And so that kind of spreads you a little thin. Rewarding, because I think I'm just a naturally curious person, right? I naturally enjoy helping folks. So I'm kind of like cheating the system, right? Where I get to do what I really enjoy. And that really looks like me sitting down with people every day, just coming up with questions, helping them solve the problems. And then, that's that curiosity piece. That's that piece that I really enjoy helping folks. And then sometimes I step back and say, man, I actually get paid to do this, right? So that's the rewarding piece. And then fulfilling, because the planning side of the house, while it is a very, very big lift, you actually get to watch the fruits of your labor really come to fruition. You get to watch institutional change. You get to watch change all the way down to the course level that really impacts students. And at the end of the day, a previous president that I worked with really kind of imparted on me that we're in the dream building business, right? We're in the life changing business. We're in the legacy changing business. So when you watch your labor come through and really understand the change that you're having and the impact that you're having, I think that's the fulfilling part.
That's really awesome. I really like those terminology you used, life-changing business, dream-fulfilling business. I think that is phenomenal. Thank you so much, Darnell, for sharing those thoughts and insights. And as we start thinking about that, and as you start expanding and building upon the work you're already doing, what's your vision for an ideal research and planning office or department?
Oh, man. I don't even think we have enough time for that, right? Like I said, you're kind of in everything, every aspect of the college. And for folks who are like me, who, you know, are like a dog with a bone. Once you grab it, you can't let it go. And knowing that there's just a boneyard out there, right? It it really becomes a playground. Um, I think for in terms of my ideal department, it would really spearhead just this culture of being evidence based, right? You know, not really doing things on a whim. Let's develop a plan to get the evidence to help inform whatever changes or whatever thoughts that you know the different folks that I work with have. Again, I mentioned planning earlier. Again, culture. You're going to hear me talk about culture, culture, culture. Um, really having a planning culture that's based in the evidence that I talked about. And then, you know, I think about innovation. I think this is the ultimate playground if you want to jump in and be innovative in your thought process and some of the super cool technology that's out there. And in developing some of the really cool stuff that's not out there yet, right? I think this is that opportunity. And then change. You know, there are a few words that you'll just hear me continue to speak about, and that culture of change that's based on the evidence. Okay, and it really just goes back to the acronym of EPIC: evidence, planning, innovation, and change. And it really informs our culture. And I think as we really look at our efforts, we have to really put a face to it. And our students, our community, and our whole economic environment really is driven largely in part by the community college system. And so what I would hope to do as a department is be a catalyst to inform and direct a lot of those efforts, so that at some point, when hopefully my kids come up through the system, I've made it a better place than I found it, right? Leave it better than you found it.
That's amazing. And I think that's a testament for all of us, and really just leads us to what that ideal state is. And so thank you for pointing that out. And hopefully anybody listening can really reassess where they're at to say, where's our ideal state? And then it goes back to our final question that says, you know, what recommendations would you provide to aspiring directors or leaders in our field?
Sure. I would say really identify opportunities, right? Opportunities for your program to lead with quality, excellence, and innovation. Be creative, right? I think that's where it really comes in. Be creative. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just look for new opportunities. I would say my second point would be a resource. I think oftentimes in our industry, we find a lot of folks who, for one reason or another, have kind of defined their role as the gatekeeper. And I don't believe in that. Again, we'll go back to what I said earlier, where I enjoy helping people, right? So being a resource kind of comes easy to me. And I would encourage other folks who are interested in this field to really find a way to be a resource. And then the third thing I would say is understand that the numbers matter much less than the story that you're trying to convey. So be a storyteller, right? Really help folks understand the impact of what the data is trying to tell.
I think that is an amazing thing to point out to all of us and to remind us is data is the tool. we're the purveyors of that tool to help facilitate understanding for movement, and similar to what you said, to strengthen, change, and impact lives. I think that is brilliant. Thank you so much, Darnell, for sharing those thoughts. And really coming to our bonus questions. So the Data and Donut Show wouldn't be called this without trying to clarify the name. And so the first question I have as a bonus question is, a lot of people use a variety of terminology for data. It's data, data. What term do you like to use?
Well, I never really gave it a lot of thought, but interestingly enough, we were walking around and I made a comment and my 5-year-old said, "Dad, do you have the data for that?" And so as I'm kind of thinking back through that, I guess the terminology that I use would be data. You know, you want to know what you say, you listen to your kids, right?
That's right. Yeah, my 10-year-old tells me what to say all the time. So no, that's fantastic. And I love that question that your child had asked. That's fantastic. What day do you have to sport that? I'll never tell my son to say that because I'll be like, it's bedtime. What day do you have to sport that? No, for sure. Yeah, usually how I do it is when someone says, "Can I get some data?" I'll be like, "Yeah, let me get you that data." I try to meet them where they are. I don't want them to feel silly, but yeah, I use data too. I morph a little bit when people say it. And then the real next most serious question I have is, what's your favorite donut?
Probably the hardest question of the day. I think it kind of depends, right? It kind of depends. What am I going to do? But if I had to pick just one, I'm a pretty simple person, so I would have to go with the old-fashioned glaze.
You know what? Classics are always good. You know, you can never go wrong with a glazed donut. Now, my question is it a circle glaze? Is it a braided glaze? Is it a glazed bar? Or does it matter? You take them
no, it definitely matters. It's the old-fashioned glaze.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's the buttermilk. I need it nice and thick. It's kind of like the mix between a cake and a donut.
There you go.
You know, I keep it right there. I don't think anything goes better with a cup of black coffee than old-fashioned glaze.
That's right. For those late night work nights with data, right?
Plenty of those.
Definitely. Well, Darnell, this has been super fun. Thank you so much for sharing your insight. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. Please select the subscribe button below, and we'll see you again later. Thank you, Darnell. Have a great weekend.
All right. Thank you.